brand new feature. It's actually really interesting. So it's called Inner Discipline. It's in the Battle Preparations menu, and it's utilize Inner Discipline to still your emotions and prevent your morale rank from rising above a certain level. The higher an enemy's morale rank is compared to yours, the higher the drop rate of rare items will be when you defeat them. So basically, you can control your max morale, and with the incentive of getting better loot. But for me, it presents a lot of different interesting connotations as where this could go in the future. So at present, you could just, lower it to 15, go into Tail of Guizi, and then farm the monkey. You get a slight improvement in drop rate. It's not massive, to be perfectly honest. I tried it out. It's not crazy. Or you could put it all the way down to 0 and just go through every map in incredibly hard difficulty. So you can control the difficulty of the entire game. It's mad. You can make it way harder. But at the same time, I think there's an interesting thing when it comes to, when we get expansions, increased difficulties, this could go up. So I'm thinking current maximum is 25. The current maximum could go up to like 50. They could do that, or they could do a totally different thing, or you can maintain it, or that's for like an abyss or a depths type situation where as you go further and further, it goes up and up and up and up and up, and eventually you have like 50 morale and the enemy has like 150, and then there's a total difference in gameplay. But then again, is there any point to that? Is there any point in expanding it to that sort of degree? Or I think the other way this could go is you can change your maximum morale rank. But what about your minimum? So a lot of people complain about collecting the flags. And again, another big change was that you didn't have to go back and collect the flags in maps you've already been in. So you get the shortcuts opened, you get all the flags collected. You don't have to worry about that. But you do have to in new difficulties. So again, that's kind of not quite the change people wanted. It's one step in the right direction. Whether that's the future of the game or not, perhaps having part and parcel of having all of the flags unlocked permanently as you go through the difficulties is that you can adjust the difficulty with your morale rank. So you could change it to lower. So even though you have all the flags, you should have max morale or close to it, or 20 morale, 21 plus. You can actually lower yours maximum so that it maintains a certain difficulty, which gives the player more control. But a minimum morale rank, I think, would be much more valuable. So you could, again, this could be a difficulty slider. We're like a hair's breadth away from, instead of being able to just increase the difficulty with this option, you have minimum morale rank and you can decrease the difficulty. It's right there. It's staring, I think, everyone right in the face that this is how you would adjust the difficulty with the system that they've set up. Again, you have fortitude, but let's focus on morale. But I think this is the slider. This is the one where you can say, well, we made the game more accessible because we added a minimum morale rank setting where you could put it up to 15 at the start, so you get access to all your spells or whatever, or 10 or 5 or 20 or 25 as your minimum, and you just be full power off right from the start. Yeah, it's I think a really interesting thing. Maybe you could have it just to turn off morale entirely, and then you don't even have to collect the flags. Turn off fortitude and just goes full base. Normal, sort of like a Iowa type style. You just totally throw it out the window and you can turn it off. So again, you could have the turn it off, you could have the raise minimum. I think it's really interesting that they, introduced this just from a, making it the more difficult sort of angle, but then at the same time, it opens up the door for making the game easier. And with the amount of changes they did to bosses and UI and things, so I'll just show you, it's in battle preparation. The amount of changes they made to bosses and things, it's it's big. Huge amount of changes to skills. I'm not going to read them all or anything. It's not a big deal. Because a lot of it's just similar sort of stuff. But for the most part, big update in terms of detail. And this is just like maybe a glimpse into the future as to where the game goes. How it gets more accessible. Whether they want to do that. Or whether or not the maximum morale does go up. Whether it needs to or not. I think you could argue that. There's a lot more they could do with it. I feel like there's still, in terms of a boss rush or a depths type system, I think there's a lot more they could do with the morale rank. And the systems in the game present plenty of opportunities. So we'll see how they go in future, what they do with difficulties. And yeah. Just wanted to share my thoughts. A very interesting change. Yeah, it's been Frosty by 10. Like and subscribe, leave a comment. Tell me what you think. What do you think? Do you think they'll ever add minimum morale rank adjustment into the game and just have you straight out able to change the difficulty at will? Yeah. See ya.